Good morning, Eagles, and welcome back to the Talon Weekly. I'm your host, Tessa Cheshire.
And I'm your co-host, Audrey Neal. First, let's take a look at the weather with our meteorologist, David Hale.
Hi, welcome back to Thunder and Hail. I'm your host, David Hale. Let's go check out the weather. This past week, nothing really happened. We were expecting some snow showers here and there, but really we didn't see too much go down. But today, it actually looks like it's going to be, relatively the same as it has been recently. Today it's breezy, mostly sunny, highs are in the upper 40s to mid 50s, northwest winds from 15 to 25 miles per hour, and the gusts get up to 35 miles per hour in the afternoon. But tonight, it's going to be breezy, mostly clear, lows in the upper 20s, northwest winds 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusts up to 35 miles per hour after midnight. Throughout this entire week, we're going to see temperatures kind of lingering up in the 40s and the 50s, but as we get later into the week, it's going to get closer into the 50s, lower 50s. And then by this Thursday, there's a chance of frozen mix, and it's actually go down to 45 with the low being at 26. So we're going to see pretty much another week like we saw this past week, partly cloudy, some wind, but pretty dry, except we'll keep an eye on Thursday to see what we get. But that's it for this week.
Thank you, David. First, here's a story about Plaid Meet You.
The majority of El Dorado is familiar with the up-and-coming teacher boy band, Plaid Meet You, but the story behind the band's inspiration and friendship is even more special.
The story's pretty simple, actually. On the way home from school one day with my daughter in the back seat, Africa came on by Toto. And I've always loved that song, so I was belting it out, and my 7-year-old in the back seat started belting it out too, and it just kind of got the wheels turning a little bit. And I said, I have an idea. And as we're trying to build a little bit of momentum with our assemblies and get a little spirit going, I guess you could say that afternoon with Toto or post Toto on the radio, Plaid was born, and away we went. So then the calls came in, and I called my posse, and these are them before you. And I've got 4 really good friends, and they all agreed, and the rest was history. The phenomenon began.
People always called us the Wall of Plaid anyways, or the Plaid Dads. We went by many names for a while that Plaid was accompanied, so that's where the name came from.
It's fun to get the student body into it. I think that when Mr. Dixon was kind of inspired to put this together, the mood on campus about assemblies had kind of gotten to the point where nobody wanted to really go to an assembly anymore, and something needed to change. And so I think it's a blast when we can get the entire student body waving their phones or singing the song with us, and just having fun for a little while.
Backstage, post-performance, there was a noticeable energy that even we recognized. And so the fun and the enthusiasm and all that just sort of bred to a little bit of maybe a desire to kind of want to keep that momentum going.
We like to laugh, we like to have fun. And so what we do on a microcosm level in our classroom, which is the best part of the job, which is to get to know you guys and have fun with you. I think that we identified that we hoped that we could do something like that for everybody. Because that's the best part of the job. That's the part of the job that makes it not a job.
It's just fun to be wacky with these guys. Yeah.
There needed to be something that was ridiculous and fun and nothing but that. So I was like, all right, well, this is either going to be this massive flop on the face out there, or it's going to be something else. And I'd say it was amazing when we were out there for the first time doing that. It made things fun, and we got to forget about issues for a little while and just be ridiculous and fun, and then seemed to spread. So
4 of the 5 of us are El Dorado graduates.
Yeah.
And so we have great pride in this school. We have fond memories of when we were students here, as well as when we started teaching here.
It's one more thing that we have together but that we got to share for everybody for something that mattered to all of us, which was El Dorado.
Mr. Wellman has been facing a unique challenge as he teaches driver's ed during the pandemic.
It's already a difficult class to teach because it's at the end of the day. So they've been on their computers presumably since 7:30 in the morning. So then, nothing's more exciting than talking about left turns at 2:30 in the afternoon. So I think the hardest part is the fatigue right now for them and for me. And then the other part, of course, is how do you make the connection, the visualization, online, because we're talking about something that's totally theoretical online when we could be talking about it more in class. Anything I can do to try to make it more interesting for me, I think helps them as well. So every once in a while I'll show clips that shows people getting into car crashes that you can find. And then we'll talk about those, we'll deconstruct those, and we can talk about, what happened or what kind of patterns we're seeing. So a lot of the things that I would find interesting myself, I try to use that to focus on our discussions. In general, I've seen more A's and F's than any time before. So we have a big divide. So when we look at our grade book, we'll see numbers in red mean that the students are in real bad shape, under 50%. And at the end of last semester, I found probably about a third of the students were in that position.
Next, here's Mr. Ortega on his experience being in a Super Bowl commercial.
I was actually in 2 Super Bowl commercials. So one was a national commercial and one was a regional commercial. And the reason why I was in these commercials, I guess I was kind of lucky. When I was in the Marines, they put out like a notice to different units about putting somebody in a Super Bowl commercial. And apparently I was picked for my unit because I never really got in trouble and I was always doing what I was supposed to do. So my boss at the time called me up to her office and said, "Hey, do you want to be in a Super Bowl commercial?" And I was like, I'm not going to say no to that. So I was in the reading of the Declaration of Independence before the coin toss for the Super Bowl in 2011. So for that specific commercial, I just basically stood there and the camera panned through. When we did the recording of the video of the commercial, I actually was given a line that I got to say, but through the editing, I wasn't picked. So it's really like a 7 or 8 minute clip that was aired before the Super Bowl, before the coin toss. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
This week, the school board met to discuss plans for possibly returning to campus.
Ultimately, the board decided to wait 2 more weeks before making a final decision.
Also this week, Senate surprised several teachers during their classes.
What is this? You guys are awesome. Aw. Make me cry. Stop making me cry. Thank you, guys.
Finally, here's our fun fact of the day with Colin Kuhn.
Did you know that over Super Bowl Sunday there's over 8 million pounds of guacamole eaten? I bet you didn't know that there's also 14,500 tons of chips eaten with that guacamole.
Thanks, Cohen.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at EHS Talon Aguila.
Thanks for watching, Eagles, and we'll see you next week. Have a happy Friday.